Hey guys, welcome back to another video over here on the Chinese Zodiac and horoscopes. Today we're going to be doing a reading for you guys born in the year of the monkey. So welcome back, my monkey friends. How are we doing this week? Let's find out, shall we? As we shuffle these cards up and we pull 3 out for you guys. Let's just move these around a little bit, swap them up and down. And we'll stop about there. And we'll take that one from the bottom. We'll take that one from the middle. We'll take that one from the top. What have we got? Okay, so we've got a white, black, white, 2 positives and 1 negative. Looks optimistic, doesn't it? But let's not get ahead of ourselves. White isn't always all right. Black isn't always an attack. It all depends on that compatibility when we flip them over. And the first one we've got is a catalyst card. Change is coming in quite abruptly, quite forcefully, quite intensely. The sheep and the monkey, not a great compatibility. There can be some difficulty with understanding one another, and they don't necessarily have the same kind of approach to things. So there's not really a great deal of compatibility, despite the fact that it is in the positive. That doesn't mean it's going to be a bad change. It just means that there is something that is coming to mix things up a bit. Kind of like a spanner in the works. And that's made you, in some ways, question if you were in the sort of position that you believed you were in to begin with. Almost like the goalposts have moved, the game has changed, the ball is now rolling and you didn't even see it get thrown. Something's happened, something that is disrupted your otherwise normal understanding of things, or like you thought you had everything understood, you thought you had everything sort of in control, or everything was okay. No, that's been thrown out the window. That's been completely taken away now. It turns out you didn't know as much as you thought you knew. You weren't as right as much as you were wrong. But that's not a bad thing, because now you've learned from this. And now you can start to see how you actually feel about the situation. And that's now changing something, hence why we've now got this chapter coming to an end and a new chapter beginning. It's just unfortunate that it's not a very easy one for you, and it's quite a hard transition. Letting go usually is. Making decisions where you have to leave things behind and make sacrifices, although sometimes have great results, the things you actually have to leave behind, that can sometimes be painful, and you have to grieve the loss of those things despite being excited for the things you're gaining. It's like a bittersweet kind of catch-22. You have to say goodbye to the things that you're leaving behind, but you get to say hello to the things that you are moving towards. You are unfortunately moving towards this negative, but the negative's not too bad. That's the rat card. And the rat card is in your same triangle. So that's a highly compatible card for you. A very, very good card for a monkey person. And what we're seeing here now is you're sort of putting your all into something. You're doing something where you think if you put all your energy into it, if you put all your focus into it, if you shift from one place and you shift from here over to another place, like you're shifting your focus, and you actually start to look at this thing that you're focusing on in a different way, it might make things better for you. It might make things easier for you. It might make things a little bit more digestible, manageable. It might make you feel a little bit more in control, a little bit more happier with the situation. It'll make you feel like you're doing the right thing. But at the same time, as I've said before, you're moving in a direction where you're going to have to leave stuff behind here. And of course that comes with its own grieving process. So what you're doing as you do this and you do it to, you know, become more control. I like to think of it as you're taking control of the situation, or that's why you're doing what you're doing, to be in more control of the situation. Or you're doing it to kind of just manage that situation. You don't want things to get on top of you. You don't want things to complicate things. You don't want to get into a conflict. You don't want to get into an area of animosity or upset and jealousy and fighting and misunderstandings. You want to stay away from all of this. So you're trying to get in control of the situation. You're trying to take control of the situation, or at least trying to stop the situation from escalating into anything more than it already was or is, by kind of taking a step back, or putting a pause on things, or reassessing the situation, or even just sort of allowing the process where you're just waiting to see what happens next through the processes of elimination, or just patience. It's like a waiting game. But as you're waiting to regain that control, as you're waiting to get into that position of being able to manage things a little bit better, or to turn things around a little bit, you could be moving a bit too, I wouldn't say quickly, I wouldn't say in any way like what you're doing is wrong. It's more, you could be saying goodbye. You could be moving on without saying goodbye, is the best way that I could say this. It's like you could be forgetting something. Like you could be leaving the hotel without checking out. So make sure you check out before you leave the hotel. That's what that is. If you're going to leave the hotel, make sure that you are checking out. Dog card coming in. Protective. Protective of you, protective of this situation, protective of what you're trying to achieve, protective of that element of control that you have gained. But it's also that kind of communicator, talk about things, let people know where you stand, open up, express yourself, and just let things settle, and let things be out on the table, and let things just, as I say, be communicated about. As I say, if you're going to leave the hotel, then at least check out. Tell the people at reception. Communicate here. Talk about it. Because you're going through this change, and you want to maintain control. But if you're not talking about it, and you're not respecting the process, then it's going to make things a lot more difficult for you. And this comes down to respect. That's self-respect for yourself, respect for the other people involved, respect for those things around you, respect just for the hotel staff and the other guests. Just if you're leaving, tell them that you're checking out. Otherwise, nobody's going to know. And they're going to sit there all day waiting to use your room, or clean that room, or check other people into that room. And they can't. Because you know that you didn't tell people that you were checking out. You just left. And that may be a great way to maintain control in that respect. But is it the most necessary, or the most sort of morally okay thing to do? Communication is key here in order to save this hassle, if you so care to do it. You don't have to. Excuse me. You don't have to do it. It's a choice. You can choose to do that. Or you can just keep yourself to yourself and maintain even more control. But all of that control that you're maintaining, and all that control that you are obtaining, it's just going to become more and more of a burden as time goes by, if you are trying to carry it on your own, and you're not communicating or letting other people in. We'll find out, won't we, how you get on with that next week. We'll come back and do another reading for you guys born in the year of the monkey. My next reading will be for those born in the year of the rooster. So if you are interested in those guys, I'll see you there. If not, no worries. I'll just see you in a reading next week when we come back and do another one for you guys. Thanks for watching. Love and peace.